360 Strong Women. Today we're going to do some gentle yoga, gentle stretch. So I want you to go ahead and get your mat. Now I've doubled mine up so that you can see me from all angles. And then go ahead and take your Sukhasana, your easy seated pose. And if you have checked in, like, subscribed, and shared, and you're getting the content, you would have gotten video on breathing and some stretching videos, but you already are aware of your Sukhasana. So go ahead, sit on your sits bone, not on your tailbone, roll the shoulders back, sit up nice and tall, elongate the spine. Remember our cueing, apple under the chin so that your neck is in alignment. Over the shoulders, stack the scapula, pull the pit of your belly in and up. Flex the toes towards your knees. Big sweeping breath up. Whew, exhale it away. Just get rid of it. One more time. Breathe in. And exhale that away. Go ahead and allow your eyes to gaze down your nose to your mat, or look to the end of your mat, or close your eyes. Roll the shoulders back. Set your mudra for you. Let your hands sit in your lap, palms up. Bring your hands to heart center, or place your hands over your heart. Whatever's comfortable. Then begin your Ujjayi breath. You're breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. Just to remind yourself that you're present here on this mat, doing this stretch with me, this gentle yoga. You're cueing your breath work to keep you staying here present with me. You want to make it audible and fill your breath all the way to the top of your head. And then exhale it all the way. Rinse that air through the spine. Wake the body up. Now, as you breathe in and out, feel how your mind and your body are connected. You feel the air come in and express out. Also acknowledge those thoughts. They're going to come in. Just acknowledge them. They're there. We can't empty our thoughts. We can't empty our head. But we can use our breath to connect everything together so that you stay present to the moment and you're not sitting out here with your to-do list. Invite yourself to this very important meeting. This self-care, this gentle yoga for yourself. Take one more breath in. Open your mouth and express it all away. Now we feel a little bit more grounded, a little bit more present to what we're about to do so that we can enjoy the stretch. I want to rush through it. We're going to start in a prone position in child's pose, which is called balasana. I'm going to take my big toes to touch, take my knees wide to my mat. So I'm externally rotating at my hips. And then I'm going to drop down just to the mat, arms out in front, and press my fingers down into the mat. And as I inhale, I want to lengthen through the spine. As I exhale, I want to slowly allow the back to stretch. And as I inhale again, I'm going to lengthen my fingers forward, stretching out those shoulders. And then as I exhale, I want to draw my hips as close to my heels as I can. Allow the stretch. One more breath in. And then open your mouth and exhale that all away. And I'm going to slide my hands up and take my tabletop. My wrist, my elbow, and my shoulder are going to be in alignment. and I want to keep my elbow joints nice and soft. I'm going to look to the end of my mat, apple under the chin. And I want to pull the pit of the belly in and up and roll the shoulders back. I also want my hips in alignment with my knee. What you can do is drop your feet down, so tops of the feet, pada bandha. You can press them in, but we're doing work here. Or you can take a toe stand. I like a toe stand only because it stretches out the fascia of my feet, and that feels good for me. But if you have, say you have arthritis in your feet or your toes, this may not feel good. So then untuck them. So level is here. We also want to make sure we've got our hips opened up for our bodies. So you'll take your two fists together, place them between your knees. Now you've opened up your hip for you. We're all a little different. We want to align our bodies correctly. Then I'm going to press my fingers into the mat with my yogi fingers, so I'm not placing a lot of stress on my wrist flexors and extensors. I'm going to inhale and allow my belly to soften. This is flexion of the back. I'm in cow. Notice that I'm not looking up with my cervical spine with my neck. I'm going to look straight out or at the end of my mat. Exhale. I'm going to pull everything in and up and extend the spine towards the ceiling, extension of the back. Press like you're pushing your hands away from your mat. Then inhale, breathe in, and then exhale it out. 2 more times for your cat-cow. Exhale it out. And then last time, put all that oxygen in, fill it all the way up till you can't get any more air in, and then exhale it all away so there's no more air in your belly. Then we want to take a nice flat back. Exhale that away. From here, I'm going to do what we call ragdoll or uttanasana. Walk my feet right up under my hips. Remember that I want to set my ragdoll, my uttanasana up for my hips. So I'm still hip width. I still have 2 fists between my feet. And my hips are in alignment with my knee joint, which is in alignment with my ankle joint. And my hips are squared off to my mat, which is squared off to my shoulders. And then I'm going to bend my knees. Put your hands on the ground, or better yet, put them on blocks, yoga blocks. If you're used to doing your ragdoll, your uttanasana, you can grab opposite elbows with your hands and then gently breathe in and out and twist side to side. So we're stretching out this lower lumbar, stretching out through the glutes, through the hamstrings, into the papalito space, into the back of your calves and down into your Achilles. We want to press your feet into the mat and lock them down. Big toe mound, pinky toe mound, heel. Take one more breath in and out. We don't want to hold our breath. We want to breathe. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to step my right foot forward onto the right side of my mat. Big toe mound, pinky toe mound, heel. And then I'm going to elongate my left leg, untuck my foot, and lift up for my low crescent lunge, also called Anjaneyasana. My knee's going to stack over my ankle, stretching out this hip flexor. And my hips driving to the front. You can put your hands on blocks, hands to heart center. Apple under the chin, roll the shoulders back, pull everything tight, and breathe. If I lean over onto my leg, I'm not going to feel this stretch as much. So I want to make sure that I'm chest high, nice and tall. Then I'm going to take both hands to each side of my right foot. Begin to flex my right toes towards my knee and sit back into my hip. Now I'm stretching out underneath my right leg. Left hip flexor, right leg, looking to the end of my mat, pulling everything in and up. A lot of work. I'm going to place my right foot back down, come back to my Anjane Asana. Now you can sit into these positions like 30 seconds and really get this deep stretch. Or if you want to do more of a rhythmic stretch, you can come back, Ardha Hanumasana, which is our half monkey pose, or Anjane Asana, low crescent lunge. And you can just hip hinge back and forth. Just sit up nice and tall. Feel the nice stretch in and out. Then I'm going to take both of my hands, twist, so I have a transverse movement here. Place them to the middle of my back. Tuck my back toes. I'm doing this nice and slow so that you can practice. And now I have my shoulders, my hips, and my feet facing what we call 12 o'clock. Do hip hinge onto the ground to open up the back of the legs, really stretching it open, rolling the shoulders back. But you can come all the way down onto your forearms. You can put your head on the ground, but just make sure that you're very, very careful with your neck. I'm going to halfway lift and work to the other side. My left foot is going to turn towards the back of my mat, be on the left side. My right toes are going to tuck, like lizard pose. I'm going to drop my leg all the way down and sit up. Now I'm in Anjaneyasana on the left side. My left knee stacks over my ankle. I'm in Padabandha back here. I've untucked my toe, stretching the right side, my right hip flexor. That feels really good. I hope that feels good for you too. Then my hands are going to come to either side of my left foot, and I'm going to fall back. Toes are going to flex towards the knee, sitting back into my hips so that I can stretch the left side. I'm going to come back up for my Anjaneyasana. Back to my Ardha Hanumasana. Remember, you can make this rhythmic or you can hold it. Then I'm going to put my left foot down, tuck my right toes, bring my hands to the front. So I've got transverse movement in my core. Come back to the front. Now I'm in Prasarita Padottanasana, which just means standing straddle fold. Taking a straddle with my legs and folding. The back of the legs really stretching through the sits bones, down through the hips, rotators, popliteal space, calves, Achilles tendon, and all the way down. You're also stretching that low back. I'm going to come up, bend my knee, turn my right foot, turn my left foot. Now for some of you, you may have to walk this in a little bit. It's okay. You can put a block up underneath your glutes. Now I am sitting in my Malasana, my yogi squat. You want to be really nice and tall, not fold it over. That'll hurt your low back. Sit up really nice and tall. From here, I'm going to take my hands, bring them back as I extend my legs out in front. I want to flex my toes towards my knees to keep my knees nice and safe. And I'm on my sits bone. The crown of my head to my sits bone, one long line. This is the line. So if I were to put a pole right behind me, my pole's always going to stay straight. As I extend up, I'm going to hip hinge at my hip flexors. Roll the shoulders back, one long line from here to here. I'm not rounding out my back or dumping the shoulders, nice and tall. If you have very tight hamstrings, bend your knees up, put a block under it for support so that you can get length and strength without tearing. If you're very, very flexible, put the block on the end of your feet and grow your body. Some length. As you inhale, Lengthen everything out. As you exhale, fold. Seated, forward, fold. Paschimottanasana. Notice my apples under my chin. I'm not doing anything with my neck. I'm not dropping my head below my heart. That's going to make me dizzy. I'm looking you straight ahead. Apple under the chin, crown of the head to the sits bone, one long line. Inhale and then exhale. As I exhale that up, I might take in a big deep breath. Exhale that away, getting nice long length. So seated, straddle fold. Softness in my knee joint. I don't want to lock out my joints because then I'm not going to get oxygen. I want to keep my toes flexed towards my knees. And you're just going to hip hinge just like we did in Paschimotto, seated forward fold. Fold over. You could be on blocks. You're just going to fold forward till you feel a nice stretch. So for some of you, you're all the way down, breathing in and out. Some of you might be on your forearms. Some of you might be on your fingers or up on blocks. And we'll do a whole video on how to use blocks appropriately or yoga props. We'll use all the bolsters and things. This is just something gentle to stretch everything out. Notice that we're working all sides. The last thing we want to do for our gentle yoga, and then I'm going to run through the sequence for you really quickly just to show you. You can pick up the pace if you need to, or you can slow the pace down. Next one, we're going to lay down on the ground. Supine position. Roll the shoulders, stack the scapula, apple under the chin. Notice that my hip flexors face my knee, faces my ankle. They're in neutral position. Belly in and up, so abs tight. We want to make sure that your back is stable. So I'm going to flex my toe, drive my right knee into my side body, grab the outside of the foot. Now you can stay here called half stirrup and do one side at a time. Or you can drive right up into your happy baby or dead bug. I grab the outside of my feet. I have a little bit of external rotation in the shoulder. If you grab the inside of your feet, you've got internal rotation. So do the one that feels the best. Then drive your knees toward your chest. Here's the key. The whole of the goal is to keep your low back on the mat. Once you start to lift this low back up, it's going to hurt. So drive it down and ground it down. That should feel really good. One more breath in. Then you can release. So as I release, I'm going to bring the bottoms of my feet together. External rotation of my hips and lay them down, what we call Supta Baddha Konasana, butterfly pose. You can put your left hand on your heart, right hand on your belly. Take 2 breaths in and up. Spread your toes open, alive and awake. Press your feet in together. Pull the pit of your belly in and up. Abdominal lock. Really connect your spine and your abs. It's called Uddiyana Bandha. Breathe in and out. Last breath in. Exhale it all away. So you can lay in your Shavasana, take up deep and final rest. You can take up space on your mat. You can close your eyes and just breathe and listen to my voice. Or you can watch me go through this flow very quickly so that you know how to be continuous with position, get really grounded. Prepare for your yoga stretch. This is just gentle. We're not doing a vinyasa flow. We're doing very gentle work. I'm going to start in my balasana or in my embryo pose. Take a deep breath in. Exhale it away. Shift up to my tabletop. Take a cat-cow. Inhale. Exhale. Drive up into my ragdoll. Turn it in. Turn it out. Drop down to my Anjane Asana. into my Ardha Hanumasana, back to my Prasarita Podottanasana, back over to Anjaneyasana, Ardha Hanumasana, beautiful Prasarita, Malasana, Paschimottanasana, straddle fold, happy baby, Supta Baddha Konasana, and Shavasana, deep and final rest. Take up space on your mat. Let everything sink. Come back to normal breath. Close your eyes. You can hear your heart, hear your breath. Relaxed, stretched. And begin to wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers. Gently move your head side to side. Exhale out, roll up into a ball. Fall onto your side into a fetal position. Close your eyes. This is your position of renewal and rebirth. We're taking this moment as your eyes are closed, just a moment to thank yourself for showing up for today. It's important to get in self-care, stretch, breath work, a moment in time just for yourself to regroup. Thank yourself. Think about a new intention for the day. Perhaps you want to think about a moment of gratitude in your day. Perhaps you want to think about kindness and how you can extend kindness out into the world. With your eyes closed, come up to a seated position. We're going to end in our Sukhasana where we started, our easy seated pose. You can bring your hands over your heart or hands to heart center. Take a breath in. Exhale it all away. You bring your thumb knuckles up to your forehead center. May the love and the light in me always honor, see, and appreciate the love and the light in each of you. And we bow and we say, Namaste, which just means to bow. You've got a simple, gentle yoga stretch, little yoga flow. Hold the poses for a long time. Flow them out maybe a few times. Then end in your Shavasana, your deep and your final rest. Thank yourself for showing up to give self-care to yourself. Because when you care for yourself, then you can extend out into the world and care for others. And that's important. So, don't forget to live your life 360. Like, subscribe, and share so that you don't miss out on any content. There is a lot coming. And until then, I am grateful for you. Leave me comments.